Chosen one. This could expose you for who you really are, not in the way they intended, but in a way that will leave an entire community in shock when they find out the truth. Because what's being revealed isn't your downfall, it's your rebirth. Someone thought they were about to humiliate you. But the irony is divine. Every secret they plan to leak is something you've already healed from. The revelation they wanted to weaponize will only expose their obsession and deceit. They thought they'd reveal your darkness. Instead, they're about to reveal your light. The truth they feared most is simple. You already became everything they tried to destroy. There's an energy around you right now that's absolutely magnetic. Change is coming in. Massive change. The kind of transformation that doesn't just shift your circumstances but alters your entire frequency. You're on the precipice of something monumental, standing at the edge of the void. And stepping up to this edge, as frightening as it feels, is going to cleanse out everything that's been trying to attach to your energy, everything that's been following you, everything that's been attempting to pull you back. Because when you jump, when you finally leap into this transformation, you're going to land in a frequency where their attacks can't reach you anymore. Right now, someone is in shock, absolutely floored by how far you've come, by what you've figured out, by the fact that you broke free from their energetic grip. This is someone from your past, an ex, a former friend, someone who once had access to your world, and they're stuck in endless regret, replaying the past like a broken record, obsessing over what went wrong, consumed by negative nostalgia. So don't care that they hurt you. They don't care about the effect their actions had on your life. What they care about is that you escaped, that you healed, that you're thriving, because your success threatens everything they've built. Your freedom exposes their lies. Your transformation reveals that they were never the victim they claimed to be. This person is selfish in the most toxic way possible, not the healthy kind of selfish where you put yourself first and honor your boundaries. This is the trampling kind, the kind that will hold you back from fulfilling your full potential as long as they get something from it. As long as they're not left behind watching you succeed while they stagnate. They're separated from you now. Distance, divorce, ghosting, complete separation. And here's the thing that's driving them insane. You don't miss them. You're not sitting around wishing things were different. You're not crying over what was lost. You moved on. You evolved. You became someone completely different, and that realization is killing them. You're on the edge of creating massive transformation in your healing, in your emotions, in how you perceive life itself. And maybe you've run from this part of yourself before. Maybe there's been resistance, fear, avoidance. But right now, in this moment, you're being called to face it. There's a corner of your shadow that needs illumination. A piece pushed down so deep in your subconscious that you barely know it's there. It shows up in vivid dreams, in downloads from the universe, in sudden moments of insight that feel like they're coming from somewhere beyond you. The Akashic records are wide open right now. Information is flooding in, messages are coming through, and your job is to pay attention, to listen, to trust what's being revealed. They think exposing this shadow will destroy you. They believe that bringing this part of you into the light will humiliate you, make you small, force you back into the box they tried to keep you in. But what they're actually going to do is push you further into your transformation. They're going to force you to look at this shadow with even more love and gentleness than you already have. They're going to accelerate your healing, because when you face this part of yourself from a place of power instead of shame, when you integrate it instead of hide it, when you own it instead of reject it, you become unstoppable. You become the dragon. And let me tell you about this dragon energy. It's not about being harsh or cold or aggressive. It's about being fiery and fierce and emboldened. It's about rediscovering your individuality, finding what lights you up, following passion's lead. It's about empowerment that comes from deep within, from knowing who you are and refusing to apologize for it, from standing in your truth even when the whole world tells you to shrink. This is what you're becoming. This is what they're terrified of. Because a dragon doesn't bow, a dragon doesn't beg, A dragon doesn't shrink itself to make others comfortable. A dragon flies. This person from your past has been pretending to have a good life, acting like they're happy and secure and settled. They want you to believe they're over you, that they don't think about you, that they've moved on just as well as you have. But it's all performance, all theater, all masquerade, glamour, intrigue and drama. Behind the scenes, they're obsessed. They're stalking you online. They're asking about you through mutual friends. They're monitoring your every move. And they're absolutely furious that you moved on so quickly. It doesn't matter if it's been years. It doesn't matter if the relationship was dead long before it officially ended. In their mind, you had no right to heal this fast. You had no right to thrive this much. You had no right to become this powerful. So they're planning chaos, upheaval, disaster, downfall. They want to throw everything at the fan and watch it spray all over your life. They want you to stumble, to fall, to crawl back into that old wound they know exists in your shadow. But here's what they don't realize. This is exactly the moment you're supposed to jump off the edge. This is when you trust the universe to catch you. This is when you face whatever is in that shadow with love and kindness and absolute courage. Because it's time to be brave. And when you leap, everything shifts. The stagnant energy clears, the attachments break, the cords sever, and you land in your power. You've been removing dead energy from your life, unsticking yourself from situations that were frozen. You might benefit from bells around your house, little reminders of clearance, of protection, of energy shifting every time you move through space, because right now your words hold power. Your thoughts create reality. Your emotions shape your world. You are not a victim here. You are the creator, the architect, the one deciding what stays and what goes. And wisdom is coming to you light as a feather, easy, natural, flowing. You have guardians telling you what needs to be cleaned up, what needs to be removed, what needs to die so you can be reborn. This person doesn't want you to continue growing the way you are. They don't want you glowing like this. They don't want new opportunities coming your way. They don't want successful business ventures or career advancement or any of the blessings that are flowing toward you. And underneath all of this, classic narcissism, egotistical, opportunist, fragile as glass. They wear their pride like a shield and rage when it gets dented. They have anger management issues. They're an emperor energy in reverse, all control and no substance, all facade and no foundation, and they're absolutely desperate to bring you down to their level because they can't rise to yours. If this resonates with your inner knowing, hype this video to help fellow chosen ones find their way here. Someone may have a mother wound coming up, either yours or theirs. There might be someone's mother trying to reach out to you. Or this person themselves might reach out and trigger old patterns you thought were healed. Patterns of over-nurturing, overextending yourself, becoming the parent in the relationship while they played weaponized incompetence. You gave and gave and gave while they took and took and took. But you've pulled your energy back now, not just from them, from everyone who was draining you. You're in hermit mode, not because you hate the world, but because you respect your energy enough to know when other people's energy is too much. This person is stuck on you, completely blocked emotionally, very upset that they can't get through to you anymore. But their energy is not to be trusted. They're trying to expose a part of you that caused you pain, a memory that hurt, a version of yourself you had to heal from. And healing isn't linear. It takes time, sometimes a lifetime, sometimes just months, but it's never a straight line. And this person knows that. They know where you're vulnerable. They know what might make you doubt yourself. They know which wounds might still be tender. So they're pressing on them, hard, deliberately, maliciously. They both want you to contact them and want to hold you back. They don't care if it messes you up. They literally don't. But here's what's coming. Unexpected blessings, things you didn't plan for, things you didn't even know were possible. And this person has been speaking ill of you to an entire community, a whole group of people, spiritual people maybe. God-fearing or practicing witches, or just a tight-knit social circle. They've been feeding these people a narrative, painting you as the villain, positioning themselves as the victim, and this community believed them. Because people are lazy, we take information at face value unless it's proven otherwise. When someone tells you to stay away from the person at number 47 because they're weird, you believe it. You tense up when you walk past, you avoid contact, you accept the story without investigating, and that's what this community did with you. There's someone running toward you in this story, and someone running away, like they've turned a corner and seen each other, and one stops and turns back while the other chases. This person is going through the motions, pretending to be over you, acting like they're not hurt or angry about your decision to heal and move on. But it's all performance, like watching a drama on television and believing that's what love actually is. They're playing something in their head, some fantasy, some script where, if they keep up the mask long enough, if they pretend their life is perfect long enough, they can trick you, draw you back in, and then take you down. But the community is waking up. They're starting to see through the act. Some of them are naive, yes. Some of them took the story at face value and never questioned it. But distance is growing between them and your enemy. Physical distance, maybe. Oceans apart, different countries, different cities, different worlds, or emotional distance, energetic separation. They're pulling back because something isn't adding up. The story they were told doesn't match what they're observing. They were warned that you're the problem, the toxic one, the person to avoid. But when they see you now, when they feel your energy, when they witness your growth, it doesn't compute. There's cognitive dissonance, and that dissonance creates questions. This community went on first assumptions about you. They believed what they were told, rather than finding out for themselves. And now they're starting to realize they were used, manipulated, turned into flying monkeys for someone else's vendetta. And that realization is uncomfortable. It makes them question their judgment, their discernment, their willingness to participate in someone's exile without hearing both sides. Some of them are feeling guilty, some are embarrassed, some are angry at being deceived, but all of them are starting to see the truth. Your enemy is losing their audience, their support system is cracking, the foundation of lies they built is developing faults, and it's only a matter of time before the whole structure collapses. You're attracting wonderful news right now, opportunities, abundance, success, not because you're lucky, but because you've aligned with your true frequency. You've healed the wounds blocking your blessings, you've cleared the energy limiting your potential, you've stepped into your power, and the universe is responding. Money is flowing toward you, a path with wealth is opening. You are a money magnet, everything you touch turns to gold. Not because of external circumstances, but because of your inner work, because you've allowed that golden healer energy within you to shine out. You've become the Midas touch, while your enemy is the miser, sitting alone counting coins that bring no joy, living in limitation while you expand into abundance. Someone here is going on a trip, a vacation, physical travel maybe, or a mental journey, a spiritual expansion. You're moving into new territory, exploring unfamiliar landscapes, both literally and metaphorically. And this movement, this expansion, this growth is protected. Unsettled times are sorting themselves out. Things that seemed chaotic are organizing. Finances that felt unstable are securing. Opportunities that felt uncertain are manifesting. Because you've come to the edge and you're ready to jump. And when you do, when you finally leap, everything opens, doors unlock, paths clear, blessings flow, and you're protected from spiritual attacks because you're healing yourself, because you're raising your frequency, because you're becoming someone those attacks can't touch. Be excited about what's coming. The change is amazing. It's Persephone energy. You've been in winter for so long, in darkness, in the underworld, facing shadows and demons and everything that wanted to keep you down. But spring is coming, light is returning, flowers are blooming, you're being brought back from the depths, and you're emerging as both the queen of the underworld and the goddess of spring. You know darkness intimately, you've sat with it, made peace with it, integrated it, and now you bring that wisdom into the light. You're not naive anymore, you're not innocent in the way you used to be. You're knowing, experienced, powerful in a way that only comes from facing the abyss and choosing to climb out. Your enemy thought they were destroying you, they believed their attacks would break you, they assumed their exposure would humiliate you, but all they did was forge you, refine you, make you stronger. Every lie they told forced you to know your truth more deeply. Every person they turned against you taught you to stand alone more powerfully. Every attempt to isolate you drove you into a relationship with yourself that's unshakable. They thought they were winning. They believed they were taking you down, but they were just fuel for your transformation, just catalysts for your evolution, just instruments of your destiny. And when the community sees what you've become, when they witness what emerged from what your enemy tried to destroy, they're going to understand something profound. You were always meant for this. You were chosen for this. You were destined to rise no matter what came against you. Your presence alone is triggering this revelation. Your energy is disturbing every lie told about you. You don't have to say anything. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to be yourself, the real you, the healed you, the transformed you, the dragon you, and that's enough, more than enough. Your glow-up is shocking them. Your resilience is breaking their narrative. Your inner strength is exposing their weakness. Your success is revealing their stagnation. Your peace is highlighting their chaos. Your growth is proving their lies, and they can't stop it. They can't control it. They can't manipulate it, because this is divine order, universal law, karmic justice, the inevitable consequence of truth being suppressed and light being denied. So here's what you need to do right now. Step up, show up, jump off the edge, face that last corner of your shadow with love, integrate that final piece of yourself, become the dragon fully, stop hesitating, stop doubting, stop wondering if you're ready. You're ready, you've been ready, the universe is ready, your destiny is ready, your blessings are ready, everything is aligned, everything is waiting, everything is prepared. The only thing missing is your willingness to leap, your courage to trust, your faith to believe that you're meant to fly. And when you jump, when you finally let go and surrender to the transformation, you're going to land in a completely new reality, one where their lies don't exist, where their manipulation has no power, where their attacks can't reach, where their energy can't attach. You'll be free, finally, completely, absolutely free. And from that place of freedom, you'll watch the exposure unfold. You'll see the community wake up. You'll witness your enemy's mask fall. You'll observe the truth surface, and you won't feel vindictive. You won't feel triumphant. You won't feel anything except peace, because you'll know this was always how it was meant to happen. This was always the path. This was always your story, not the story of someone who was destroyed, but the story of someone who rose, someone who transformed, someone who became the dragon, someone who chose love over bitterness, growth over victimhood, truth over lies, power over fear, freedom over attachment, themselves over anyone's opinion of them. Your enemy has been crafting a specific image of you in the minds of this community. They've been careful, calculated. They've shared select stories, twisted certain events, emphasized particular moments. They've built an entire persona around who they claim you are. And this community has accepted it. They've filed you away in their minds under a label your enemy created. Toxic, unstable, dangerous, unpredictable, whatever word they chose to define you. And every interaction these people have had with the idea of you has been filtered through that label. Labels only stick when the evidence keeps supporting them, and you've been creating counter-evidence with every breath you take, every boundary you've set, every success you've achieved, every peaceful response you've given, every moment of grace you've extended. Every time someone from this community has actually encountered you, they've experienced something that doesn't quite match the warning they received. Maybe it was brief, maybe it was just a passing interaction, Maybe it was just feeling your energy from across a room, but it planted a seed, a tiny question mark, a small doubt, and those seeds have been growing quietly in the background of their consciousness. Right now, some of these people are starting to talk to each other, comparing notes, sharing their experiences, and they're discovering discrepancies. One person says you were kind when you ran into each other. Another mentions you seemed genuinely happy and at peace. Someone else admits they've been watching your growth and it doesn't align with what they were told. These conversations are happening in private, in whispers, in careful tones, because nobody wants to be the first to openly question the narrative. Nobody wants to be seen as betraying the person they supported. But the questions are multiplying, the doubts are spreading, and your enemy can feel it happening. This is why they're so desperate right now. This is why they're planning this exposure. They need something big, something shocking, something that will snap everyone back into the narrative they've been selling. They need to remind the community why they should fear you, avoid you, reject you. Because if they don't, if this community starts to question, starts to investigate, starts to see the truth, then everything unravels, and your enemy knows it. They can sense their control slipping, they can feel their influence waning, they can see people starting to think for themselves instead of accepting the story they've been fed. So they're going to expose something they believe will destroy your credibility completely, something from your past, something you may have shared with them in confidence during a vulnerable moment, something you may have been working through when you knew them, a struggle you faced, a mistake you made, a version of yourself you've since outgrown. They've been holding on to this information like a trump card, waiting for the perfect moment, and they think that moment is now. They think that revealing this will prove they were right about you all along. They think this exposure will validate their victim narrative and solidify their position in the community. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something, but talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. You put on the headphones, press play, and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your Destiny Engine for $1 today, join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks, and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. The community is going to see someone owning their growth, someone who isn't defined by their past but transformed by it. Someone who has depth and complexity and humanity, someone real. And then they're going to look at your enemy, the person who held on to this information for the sole purpose of weaponizing it, the person who waited for the right moment to cause maximum damage, the person who is clearly obsessed and vindictive and still attached to someone who moved on long ago. And that contrast is going to be stark, undeniable, revealing. Your enemy thinks they're exposing you, but what they're actually doing is exposing themselves. They're showing the community who they really are underneath the victim mask. They're demonstrating that they're not healed, not over it, not moved on. They're revealing that they've been performing this whole time, pretending to be fine while secretly obsessing over you, acting like they're thriving while actually plotting your downfall, playing the role of someone who's grown and healed while harboring resentment and rage that they've been carefully hiding, and the community is going to see all of this. They're going to recognize the manipulation, they're going to understand they've been used, they're going to realize they were turned into weapons in someone else's personal vendetta. Some of them are going to feel sick, some are going to feel angry, some are going to feel deeply embarrassed that they participated in your social exile without ever hearing your perspective. Some are going to feel guilty that they believed rumors instead of seeking truth. And all of these feelings are going to create a wave of energy that shifts everything. There are specific people in this community who are going to play key roles in what happens next. There's someone who's been quietly defending you when you're not around. Someone who never fully believed the narrative, but didn't have enough evidence to challenge it directly. This person has been collecting observations, noticing patterns, connecting dots, and they're about to speak up. Their voice is going to give others permission to share their doubts. Their courage is going to crack the dam that's been holding back the flood of questions. There's also someone who's been close to your enemy, someone who's seen behind the mask, someone who knows about the obsession, someone who's been uncomfortable with the level of vindictiveness they've witnessed, but stayed loyal out of obligation or fear or habit. This person is reaching their breaking point. They're tired of being part of the performance. They're exhausted from maintaining the lie. They're ready to tell the truth. And when they do, when they confirm what others have been suspecting, it's going to validate everything. The questions will become certainties, the doubts will become convictions, the suspicions will become facts. Your enemy has been trying to keep all of these people in line, reinforcing the narrative, reminding everyone of the story, sharing new complaints to keep you villainized in their minds. But it's taking more and more energy, more effort, more manipulation, because the truth has momentum, it has force, it builds naturally, while lies require constant maintenance, and your enemy is getting tired. They're making mistakes, saying things that contradict previous statements, showing emotions that don't match the healed persona they claim, revealing obsession that betrays their claim of being over it. People are noticing, they're seeing the cracks, they're watching the mask slip, and each time it happens, more doubt creeps in, more questions arise, more clarity emerges. This is why the exposure your enemy is planning is actually their last desperate move. They need something big enough to override all of these doubts, something shocking enough to make everyone forget the inconsistencies they've been noticing. Something dramatic enough to re-solidify their victim status and your villain role, but it's not going to work, because timing is everything, and this exposure is coming too late. It's coming after you've already transformed, after you've already healed, after you've already integrated your shadow, after you've already made peace with your past, after the community has already started questioning, after the seeds of doubt have already been planted and have already begun to grow. The exposure that might have destroyed you before is now just going to reveal how far you've come. The information that might have shamed you into silence is now just going to demonstrate your growth. The secret they think will end you is now just going to showcase your transformation. And when the community sees this, when they witness you handling this exposure with grace and strength and peace, when they observe you not collapsing or defending or attacking back, when they feel your energy remains stable and calm and grounded despite this attempt to destroy you, something profound is going to shift in their understanding. They're going to see maturity. They're going to recognize healing. They're going to witness authentic transformation. And then they're going to look back at your enemy, still obsessed, still attacking, still unable to move on, still performing victim while acting as aggressor. And the contrast is going to tell the real story. You need to grasp something essential about where you stand right now. You have become someone your former self would look up to, someone your younger self needed to meet, someone your past self prayed to become. Every struggle you endured built this foundation. Every tear you cried watered this growth. Every moment you thought would break you actually forged you into someone unbreakable. You are not the same person who entered this situation. You are not even recognizable to those who knew you before. You have evolved beyond recognition. You have transformed beyond expectation. You have risen beyond limitation. Your energy carries a frequency now that repels lower vibrations automatically. You don't have to work to protect yourself from toxic people anymore. You don't have to consciously guard your peace. You don't have to deliberately shield your spirit. Your vibration does the work for you. People who operate from manipulation find themselves uncomfortable in your presence, Those who thrive on drama discover they cannot sustain it around you. Individuals who feed on chaos realize your energy neutralizes their tactics. You have become a walking clearing, a living sanctuary, a breathing protection spell. Simply by being yourself, you create space that only authentic people can enter. This is why the exposure your enemy plans will fail spectacularly. Your frequency has risen so far above the realm where shame operates that attempts to embarrass you simply cannot land. You have integrated your shadow so completely that revelations about your past cannot destabilize you. You have owned your journey so thoroughly that exposing where you came from only highlights how far you have traveled. You are no longer vulnerable to the weapons designed for your former self. You have outgrown the armor because you have transcended the battlefield. You exist now in a space where those old attacks cannot reach. You have developed something extraordinary through this entire experience, an internal witness, a part of yourself that can observe without being consumed, that can feel without being controlled by feeling, that can experience without being defined by experience. You can watch your emotions move through you now without believing you are those emotions. You can notice your thoughts arise now without accepting that you are those thoughts. You can sense your reactions surface now without assuming you must act on those reactions. This observer consciousness is one of the greatest gifts your healing has given you. When the exposure happens, this witness will serve you powerfully. You will be able to observe the situation without drowning in it. You will be able to feel whatever arises without being swept away by it. You will be able to notice your responses without being controlled by them. You will stand in the center of the storm completely calm, not because you do not care, not because you are disconnected, not because you are numb, but because you have cultivated the capacity to be present with intensity, without becoming intensity, to be with discomfort without becoming uncomfortable, to witness drama without becoming dramatic. This is mastery. This is sovereignty. This is the epitome of your power. Your enemy cannot touch this. Your opponent cannot disturb this. Your adversary cannot penetrate this, because this space you have created within yourself exists beyond their reach, beyond their influence, beyond their impact. You have built an internal sanctuary, so strong, so rooted, so established, that external circumstances cannot shake your foundation. You remain centered regardless of what swirls around you. You stay grounded no matter what chaos erupts near you. You maintain peace despite whatever turmoil exists outside you. You carry something precious now, wisdom earned through experience, understanding gained through struggle, compassion developed through suffering, strength forged through adversity. You did not choose this path. You did not ask for this journey. You did not volunteer for this lesson, but you walked it anyway. You survived it completely. You transformed through it thoroughly, and now you hold something valuable, something needed, something essential, the map back to wholeness for others who will walk similar paths. The proof that healing is possible for those who doubt it exists. The evidence that transformation is real for those who question if change happens. This is your sacred responsibility now, not to prove anything to your enemy, not to convince the community of anything, not to vindicate yourself or validate your worth or verify your value, but to be living testimony, to embody the possibility, to demonstrate the path, to show through your existence that rising is real, that healing is attainable, that transformation is available, that freedom is possible. You do this not through preaching, not through teaching, not through convincing, but simply through being, through living authentically, through moving peacefully, through responding consciously, through choosing wisely, through loving openly, through giving freely, through existing fully. Your life is your message. Your being is your teaching. Your presence is your offering. You do not need to say a word about what happened. You do not need to tell your side of the situation. You do not need to explain your perspective, or defend your choices, or justify your decisions. Your transformation speaks. Your healing testifies. Your freedom proves. Let your existence be the answer to every question. Let your peace be the response to every accusation. Let your joy be the rebuttal to every lie. Let your growth be the evidence against every false claim. What you are meant to do is keep rising, keep growing, keep transforming, keep becoming more yourself, keep following your path, keep trusting your journey, keep honoring your truth, keep protecting your peace, keep claiming your power, keep living in your freedom, because that's what this has all been about. Not revenge, not vindication, not proving anything to anyone, but liberation, complete and total liberation from needing anyone's approval or validation or acceptance, liberation from caring what people think who don't really know you, liberation from being affected by the opinions of those who only heard one side, liberation from the weight of a reputation you never earned and a label you never deserved. You're about to step into a reality where none of that matters anymore, where your enemy's opinion is irrelevant, where this community's perception is inconsequential, where the only voice that matters is your own, where the only validation you need is internal, where the only acceptance that counts is self-acceptance, and from that place of complete internal authority, you're unstoppable, unshakable, untouchable, not because nothing can reach you, but because nothing needs to, because you're so full from within that external circumstances don't determine your internal state, because you're so rooted in your own knowing that outside opinions don't shake your foundation. This is what your enemy truly fears, not that you'll expose them, not that you'll turn the community against them, not that you'll seek revenge or retaliation, but that you'll become so free you don't even think about them anymore, that you'll rise so high their attacks can't reach you anymore, that you'll transform so completely their lies become obviously false, that you'll embody so much peace their chaos can't disturb you, that you'll live so fully in your power their attempts to diminish you become laughably ineffective. Because when you truly don't care what they do or say or plan, when you're genuinely unaffected by their schemes and unbothered by their obsession, when you're authentically at peace regardless of their actions, they lose all power, all leverage, all control. And that, chosen one, is who you've always been. You were just waiting for the right moment to remember, and that moment is right now. Jump, leap, fly, become the dragon you were always meant to be. The community is watching, the exposure is coming, the truth is rising, and you are ready.